Is Fnatic the new cursed team? First of all, why is no one talking about this? Well, you could say it has only happened twice so far. Once on an international LAN and once at an off-season tournament trying way too hard to matter. But the thing is, this isn't just random. The curse has been passed down by the former cursed teams of Heretics and Heretics. And I'm now starting to think that this curse might be real. And if you're looking at how things are going, with how Stage 2 playoffs are unfolding, EMEA feels wide open. Fnatic already has their champ slot secured, so they might not go all in here and instead focus on making a huge splash at champs. Exiting early here would give them extra days to rest and prep, though it comes at the cost of better seeding in champs. But if that's what it takes for them to avoid the curse, hey, I'm down for it. Welcome to snstry, and today we're talking about Fnatic. Were they just unlucky, or are we witnessing the birth of Valorant's newest cursed team? For those not familiar with the curse, here's a quick lore dump. Heretics were the founding fathers of this so-called curse. It started back in Masters Copenhagen when they fell short against FPX.
Incredibly dangerous, but still Forsaken, performing under the pressure to get to aims, the reset! Absolutely ridiculous!
Then came back around the Champions 2023 where they got humbled by EG. But Team Heretics said, hold my beer, because if PRX were cursed, Heretics decided to go full curse maxing. Last year, they didn't just lose, they specialized in losing grand finals. Runner-up here, runner-up there, collecting second place finishes like they were the Infinity Stones. Sure, no one plans to get second place all the time, but it was just astonishing to witness. But this year was the year both teams finally broke free. No more cursed finals, no more second place memes. This was the reset button. Heretics broke free of their curse at Masters Toronto, but in doing so, they passed it on like Itadori swallowing Sukuna's first finger in JJK. Except this curse doesn't make you stronger, it just hands you Ls. Meanwhile, Heretics conquered their demons at EWC, like finally sealing away a monster that's been haunting them for years. And the wild thing about this is they both did it by beating Fnatic. And this wasn't some washed version of Fnatic either. They still had 3 of the core players who went back-to-back in 2023. Nothing about beating this team was supposed to be easy, but against all odds, both PRX and Heretics managed to get over the hump. But is the curse real? Well, not all thrones come with a glorious purpose. This throne is cursed and no team nor player actually wants to sit on it. Yet it's not open to everyone either. Only the very best, or the second best, ever get themselves dragged into this spot. And here's probably why people actually believe this curse exists. There are plenty of great teams in the scene, and each one has what you'd call a ceiling. Most teams get to a solid position, while a few manage to break through their ceiling. That's when a team hits their stride, everyone is in peak form, the chemistry is clicking, and the vibes are just flowing. But that level doesn't just show up on game day. It's built through the grind, the hours of scrims, reviewing VODs, and ironing out mistakes until those peak moments finally show up on stage. You see, great teams get to a certain level, but that final X factor to actually win it all, that's the most elusive thing not only in esports but in competition in general. Most of the time, it's not a massive flaw holding them back, it's just a couple of missing pieces. For PRX, I'd argue that the missing piece was their lack of a real IGL. Because the second Forsaken fully committed to the role, they finally got over the hump. For Heretics, I think you'd agree they didn't really lack firepower, strats, or talent. What they lacked was maturity and experience. And after being dubbed always the bridesmaid, never the bride way too many times, they finally broke the curse. And now they know what it feels like to cross that line. What I'm trying to say is, you could look at every single team that's gone all the way, and the story is always the same. Greatness doesn't come without struggle. Even the very first team to win it all, Sentinels, had their fair share of adversity. And fittingly for this story, the team across from them in that final was Fnatic. The same org now flirting with a cursed throne. If you think about it, Fnatic was basically the original runner-up of Valorant's biggest stages. In a way, you could consider them the first cursed team. It's just that 2023's dominant run tricked us into forgetting it. So with all of this, you could argue the curse isn't real.
You are fake news.
It's just the natural progression of teams striving for greatness. But when the pattern of reaching the finals, losing, and repeating that cycle keeps happening
Again and again and again.
it starts to feel less like coincidence and more like genuine bad luck. Now that Paper Rex and Heretics are over the hump, it's only natural that another team is forced to take their place, somewhat sacrificed on the throne. Think of it as a very low-key-esque situation. But I know, many won't accept that Fnatic is simply cursed. There has to be more to why, this year, they haven't been able to get over the hump yet, right? And since we're talking about ceilings, X factors, and all that, let's take a closer look at Fnatic and see which key elements they're still missing to truly win it all. Back in Masters Toronto, it was clear that Fnatic's map pool was a glaring problem. And they knew it. In the end, they fell to Paper Rex 3-1, but at EWC, we saw them win the maps they had previously lost to PRX. So that's definitely an improvement. We're also familiar with Fnatic's turtle plays, starting the exec only when there's 30 seconds or less left in the round. While this can catch teams off guard, it also sometimes spells their doom. It's the exact opposite of PRX's W gaming style, yet similar in a way. Once the enemy adjusts, stopping it becomes easier. And even though Fnatic has other executes in their toolkit, the problem is they rely on this one too much. I get that Boaster is confident his boys will make the smart plays to gain the advantage, but at the highest level, teams can actually play around it. They know Fnatic's timing, so they just save their utility until the exec starts. That's exactly why PRX and Heretics were able to get past them. Lastly, and arguably Fnatic's biggest problem this season is Boaster. Yeah, I hate to say it. I know I'm going to catch some strays from the fans, but I think it just needs to be said. I was actually shocked when I look at the stats and Boaster's ranking 7th from the bottom in the EMEA for the entire 2025 season. And if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you know I'm a big believer that these breed of IGLs like FNS, Sadhack, Boaster, I think they just don't cut it anymore. Now you have the likes of Forsaken, John Cutie, Valin, and let's not forget Nats. To be clear, Boaster is one of the best strategists in the game, but he needs to hold his own when it comes to the individual game if Fnatic wants to have a chance against the top teams. Again, I didn't like talking about Boaster this way, but if we're being real, it just needs to be said. And if they can work on these lapses and stay consistent, we might see a brand new peak from this Fnatic roster. But unfortunately though, they fell to BBL in the first round of playoffs, so maybe the curse isn't real after all. Anyway, that's all I've got for them, but I'm sure you spotted a couple more things, so feel free to sound off in the comments. So, is Fnatic actually cursed? To that, I'd say, not yet. Yeah, they might have lost 2 consecutive grand finals, and yeah, the teams that beat them were the former cursed teams, but that's just not enough in my eyes. The silver lining is they have a chance to cancel the curse in the EMEA Stage 2 playoffs. They can simply lose now or win it all. But if they play second in champs, then man, it doesn't matter how many arguments you put on the table. This is the curse doing its work and there's nothing we can do about it. But hey, do you actually think this is a curse, or is Fnatic just fumbling when it matters? Anyway, see you guys in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed, hit that sub button so you don't miss out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.